A nun gets into a cab and notices that the very handsome cab driver won't stop staring at her. She asks him why he is staring. He replies, "I have a question to ask you, but I don't want to offend you." She answers, "My son, you cannot offend me. When you're as old as I am and have been a nun as long as I have, you get a chance to see and hear just about everything. I'm sure that there's nothing you could say or ask that I would find offensive. Well, I've always had a fantasy to have a nun who makes me happy in private." She responds, "Well, let's see what we can do about that. Number 1, you'd have to be single, and number 2, you must be Catholic." The cab driver is very excited and says, "Yes, I'm single and Catholic." "Okay." The nun says, "Pull in to the next alley." The nun fulfills his fantasy, but when they get back on the road, the cab driver starts crying. "My dear child," says the nun, "why are you crying? Forgive me, but I've sinned. I lied, and I must confess. I'm married and I'm Jewish." The nun says, "That's okay. My name is Kevin and I'm going to a fancy dress party." Here is another one. 2 nuns who worked in a hospital were out driving in the country when they ran out of gas. As they were standing beside their car on the shoulder of the road, a truck approached them. Noticing the nuns in distress, the trucker stopped and offered to help. When the nuns explained they had run out of gas, the trucker said he would be more than happy to drain some from his tank, but he didn't have a bucket or a can. Hearing this, one of the nuns dug out a clean bedpan from the trunk and asked the trucker if it would do. He said it would and proceeded to drain a couple of quarts into the pan. He then handed the pan to the sisters, got back into his truck, and waved goodbye. While the nuns were carefully pouring the precious fuel into their gas tank, a cop happened by. He stopped and watched them for a few moments, then said, "Sisters, somehow I don't think that's going to work, but I sure do admire your faith." If you liked this joke then, please subscribe to my channel because we put a lot of effort to make you smile. Stay happy in your life.